Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the VectorVest YouTube Live Trending Thursday, where you guys come to find out what stocks are making the news. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and it's always my pleasure to be here. I enjoy my time here on this YouTube Live. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond with VV Nation to let me know that everything is coming across loud and clear. And the person that makes sure that that happens is Joey. He's sitting side saddle to me. He's my producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey. Jay,
this is not Jerry. So hopefully everybody is hearing me and everything is coming across fine. And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, all right, interesting. All right, so thank you for chatting in. I should see a lot of VV Nations coming across the screen, and that's great. So for those of you who are brand new, why are you here? Well, you're here to learn about what stocks are making news, and we're going to use the power of the VectorVest software to analyze those stocks to help us determine that just because they made the news, are they stocks that you should be buying or staying away from? So that's what the purpose of being here is all about. That's what the VV Nation is here all about. VV Nation are people who are subscribers to the VectorVest software, who follow the VectorVest software. And for all of you who are new, take a look at that chat. You'll see there's a lot of people from VV Nation up in here, and one day, hopefully you can be as well. If you like the content, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. A lot of people are here who have not subscribed to the channel. If you like the content, take a second, look down below the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you like the content throughout the day, don't forget to hit the like button, and of course hit the bell icon so that you can be alerted every time we put up new content. This is podcastable, so every time you go away, and if you miss these live sessions, you can go to your favorite place to look up a podcast, type in Trending Thursday, and everything that we're talking about is on a podcast, which I'm kind of excited. We got a lot of downloads on our podcast. So keeping that in mind, we have a store down below as well. If you look at the video, the store is there. If you want to take advantage of any VectorVest merchandise, you can do that as well. All right, so one last thing. We do offer a trial. For everybody who is not a subscriber to the software, we offer a trial for 99 cents. Now, let me explain just a little bit of what that 99 cents does for you. You get access to a system that's designed to show you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. I know that here on Trending Thursdays, we specifically talk about stocks that are making the news. The VectorVest software is far and beyond more than just stocks making the news. We're going to help you to develop a trading system. And folks, think about this. You're getting this kind of information for 99 cents for 30 days. We're going to teach you to know when to buy. We're going to help you to know, depending on how you invest in the market, what to buy. And then we're also going to show you, in looking at those stocks, when to sell. Folks, those three things make up a trading plan. That's it. And that's what the VectorVest software is all about. So for 99 cents, you get more than just looking at stocks. You will then be put into a world of learning how to become a better investor. All right. With all of that being said, we always start off with what's going on in the market. So we always start off with a market overview. What you're looking at here is the home page of the VectorVest software. From this home page, folks, we start to encourage you and put you on the right path of knowing if it's okay or not okay to buy stocks. So center everything that we talk about around your trading plan, knowing when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. This home page is definitely going to help you with your when to buy. We're looking at the major indices on our homepage of the VectorVest software. All of the major indices are up today, not gangbusters running away, but they are all in the green. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and our VectorVest composite. This is also something that you never get from anyplace else. Our VectorVest composite is an indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track in our database. For the U.S. market, we track 8,353 stocks. The VectorVest composite or indexed average of all of those stocks currently is trading at $51.87. Now, we track that move of the 8,300 stocks on both the week-over-week and day-over-day basis to truly tell you if the market is rising or not. Now, why do we use the VVC? Well, the Dow tracks 30 stocks, albeit some of the best stocks in the market. The NASDAQ tracks about 4,300 stocks, but it's very tech heavy. We look at a lot of the tech stocks in the NASDAQ. So although it tracks a lot more stocks, it is very heavily weighted to the tech side. And what a lot of people use is the S&P 500. Now, why do they do that? Because it's a nice round number of 500. It gives you a good understanding of stocks that are, heavily traded, if they're doing well or not. And a lot of people will gauge what their portfolios are doing in accordance to what the S&P 500 is doing. But keep in mind, it tracks 500 stocks. This is why we use our VVC or VectorVest composite from the standpoint of timing the market. And yes, we do time the market. Now, in timing the market, especially for the benefit of the new people in the room, we don't predict which way the market is going to go. We track the trend of the market and keep our subscribers on the right side of the trend, which is always important in being able to make the right decisions at the right time. I'm going to move over to our color guard, which is I like to call it our traffic light to the market. It is comprised of 3 colors, red, yellow, and green. What's the predominant color over the last 6 trading days? Yellow. Even though it's okay to buy stocks today, I'm not going to tell you to back up the truck. I'm going to say to buy it cautiously. A lot of yellow, and we look at other indicators besides the price movement of the VectorVest composite. We have proprietary indicators called RT, relative timing, looks at the short-term price trend in the market, and the BSR, or buy-to-sell ratio, looks at the number of stocks that have buy recommendations in the software divided by the number of stocks that have sell recommendations in the software. And this indicator is an indicator that will show you the overall market strength or weakness, all right? So if I look at our color guard, a lot of yellow, even though today we have 3 green lights, it's a good day to buy stocks. Keep in mind, one day doesn't make a trend. That's why having something like a color guard or something like a traffic light into the market will always help you to make the right decisions at the right time. Now that we've got a feel of the when to buy, is it okay to buy today? The answer to your question is yes. But if I'm going to buy today, I'm still going to be cautiously buying based on all of the yellow in our color guard. So I'm not telling you not to buy. I'm telling you to be careful. Now, what moves markets? Well, there's 3 things that move markets globally. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a new person, a newbie to the market, you all need to know there's 3 things that move markets globally: earnings, interest, and inflation. Everything else that you think moves markets tends to be news. News can affect the market, but there's 3 things that move markets. When earnings are good, when earnings are good, the market tends to rise higher. As an owner of a business, I'm able to do a lot more things as long as my company is making money. Most of all, I'm making sure that my stockholders are satisfied. Now, that's the good guy. The bad guy is interest and inflation. Well, we all know that interest rates are still at historically low situations. Well, that's a good thing, especially when it comes back to trying to pay back a lot of the money that we've borrowed. That's another story for another time, but interest rates are still low. But the problem is with that is if I'm going to put money in the bank, I'm going to get a small interest. Where's my money going to go? Always remember, money grows where money grows. Money is still being put into the stock market, even begrudgingly, because you're not getting any interest in the bank. And inflation. Inflation is another indicator that can affect the market. When inflation is high, that means you pay more for goods. As a company owner, if inflation is high and I'm paying more for goods, that takes more money out of my pocket. So in a Goldilocks scenario, you want earnings rising while interest and inflation are falling. That is the perfect bull market scenario. Right now, we're in a bear market scenario because earnings are falling. Interest rates are still low. Earnings are falling. Interest rates are still low. And inflation, the Fed said that inflation, they're going to let it run a little hotter than normal to help to spur the economy. But at some point in time, you got to shut down inflation because if we get overinflated, everything is going to be so much more money. and having to spend it if you ain't got the money, So that's the Fed's job. So in talking about what moves the market, a lot of it is the Fed. And the Fed's job is to look at jobs and inflation. So let's go into our first article. As we are looking at what's going on in the market, let's go see what news is moving the market in the direction it's going. So let's start off here. This came out this morning. The initial jobless claims declined to 840,000 last week. So a lot less people are claiming unemployment. But let's not lose sight that there's still a lot of people out there who are unemployed due to COVID-19. All right. So the number dropping is a good thing. That's a good thing. So we'll scroll down a little further. Where's my mouse, Joey? Over here. Why is it over there? Why'd you put it over there? Stop using my mouse when I need to use it. The number of Americans applying for initial unemployment benefits ticked down to a post-pandemic low of 840,000 last week, but still remained at levels indicating that the recovery in the labor market is losing momentum as coronavirus pandemic lingers. Now, interesting that as my wife and I recently went on vacation to Tennessee in Pigeon Forge, I think that if everyone looks around, there's a lot of signs out looking for people to hire. So just keep that in mind as well. Economists had forecasted a larger decline of 820,000. The prior week's figure revised up to 849,000 from the initially reported 837,000. So jobs are still an issue, but maybe they're becoming less and less of an issue as hopefully people are starting to get back to work. Now, my next story is the Fed Powell says U.S. faces tragic, keyword there, tragic risks from doing too little to support the economy. Now, everybody realized what today is Thursday. It must have been Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Towards the end of the trading day, the president came on and kicked the market in the belly. He set up and said, well, we're not, he stopped the negotiations for stimulus. The market felt the effect and fell down. Later on, it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I saw a news story came out prior to me doing the Jockey Club, which is our trading room that we have available for our VectorVest subscribers. He said, wait a minute, maybe we can do a $1,200 stimulus. So whether it was what you call the art of the deal for negotiating or whatever it was, the initial story was that he stopped the stimulus negotiations. The next day, he comes out that people are now sitting back at the table to look at a stimulus, whatever. The market was up 500 points yesterday. Now, still, the market moving higher, for the most part, is still on stimulus hopes. So we will keep that in mind as we look forward to what's going on. And then the last story, Trump calls from some COVID-19 relief measures after shutting down the stimulus talks. I can't say that he didn't know that it was going to affect the market the way that it did, but it did, and then comes back to be able to say, we will look for some stimulus. So the Fed is really putting it out there that we need more stimulus. I think if you look at your fellow Americans, they're sitting back saying that they need more stimulus, but there's another side of the picture. And this is why I don't like to talk politics in these sessions. The other side of the picture is we need to get the country back to work, but we need to do it safely. All right, so that's where we stand as far as what's affecting the market from a news-based scenario. Let's get back into the software. And from the software, we're going to go, where is my tab, Joey? That's not what I'm looking for. No, that's the tab I'm looking for. Let's go to our watch list today. We're going to go to the watch list viewers. We're going to go to YouTube, Trending Thursday. What's today's date? 10/8. Here's our watch list of stocks that we're going to cover today. And always starting off with the market. For those people who are VectorVest subscribers, we talk about the VVC. That's our VectorVest composite, looks at the 8,300 stocks. And for those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, we help you out too. We look at the spiders, the S&P 500. Now that I've got them both highlighted in my list, I hate when that happens. Now that I've got them both highlighted in my list, I'll right-click. I'll view the stock graph. Let's go take a look at what's going on over the last 3 months. So here's the market from the S&P 500 standpoint. There's Tuesday's big down day with the news that came out. We were in an uptrend, coming off of this low that occurred on, well, what is that, 9/24 of 2020. We were going up. The market pulled back, went back up still. You know something? I'm going to draw a different line. Instead of a freehand line, I'm going to draw an extended line, which is something that you can do with the VectorVest software. All right, it's part of our graphing package. And as the data continues to move, this line will automatically move with the market without having to keep redrawing it. So we were in an uptrend. I'd like to see if the S&P 500 can get back above this trend line. Let's go make that a little darker for you. Let's see if we can get back above that trend line. But the market was on a little bit of a spur running up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, a big gap up here. We fell back below that trend line, but looking now, let's see if we can get back above. The relative timing on the market or the short-term price trend of the market is definitely moving up as the S&P 500 is moving up yet as well. Let's go put on the VVC, the VectorVest Composite. Man, look at that. Look at that. That's the movement of over 8,300 stocks, folks. And that's a good representation of what's really going on in the market. And that's what we want to see. Gosh darn it. Why are you doing that?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I need to move you to the other side. I can't see what's going on over here.
Okay, tell me what you need to do.
I just need this for a second.
All right. This is me and Joey fighting over the computer. You know what happens when me and Joey fight? That's what happens. Joey gets knocked out. All right. So now let me finish drawing my line that Joey messed up. The Drury messed up. There's my trend line on the VVC coming off its low, definitely moving higher. So you know something? I still have more of a bullish feel on the market right now. Looks like we're getting close to taking out this prior high over the last 3 months. Why do I look at 3 months? Because what happens every 3 months on the stock or in the market for the most part, earnings. I always want to make sure the earnings picture is in my graph before I make a decision. So from the standpoint of over 8,300 stocks, we're definitely moving higher. There's Tuesday's activity. We gapped up today. The market's still moving. There's no fighting the tape. All right. And the market is still primarily moving higher because of stimulus hopes. And when we got the news that we were going to stop the stimulus talks, the market felt it. But then still on the hopes again, the market's still moving higher. All right, so that's where we stand as far as the market overview. Let me answer the question again. From a when to buy perspective, right now it's okay to buy stocks, but with all of the yellow lights that we have in our color guard, be careful, be cautious. Do not back up the truck, but this is still a good time to buy stocks. Put tighter stops on the stocks that you own. As I drink out of my cup, my VectorVest cup, which you have access to in the VectorVest store. I'm going to drink tea today. Joey said I should drink tea and not coffee, so I'm not drinking my Cafe Bustelo today. I am drinking some mango and peach tea, something like that. Oh, no. That's not really manly, but I don't care. All right. So questions. Can you show how to put different buy order for stock with an example? No, I will not be able to do that as far as showing an example of it, except for if the stock is $20 or less, you're going to put a buy stop order 5 cents higher than the high. If the stock is over $20, you're going to put your buy stop order 12 cents higher than the high, which is about 1/8 of a point. Leonardo says, Glenn, last 3 times when color guard was showing all the way bullish, the market crashed on the next day really bad. Let's see tomorrow. So Leonardo, I've got nothing to protect us against the news. Thus the reason why I say with all of the yellow in the color guard, this is why I said, 1, don't back up the truck, and number 2, still invest, but with tighter stops. With your tighter stops, you're going to help to mitigate a lot more losses that way. So that's probably the best way I can answer that question. How can I see the line in the sand on my stocks? Is that the lowest from the previous day? And when I'm looking at a line in the sand on a stock, let's go pull up these 2 stocks again. When I look at the line in the sand, what do I normally do? And a line in the sand is saying, where's your definite get out point? So when I look at something like the spiders right now moving up the way that it is, I've got to find me a formal level of resistance, and I eyeball the graph. I try to find a formal level of resistance where the stock market had a hard time going up, or the stock that I'm investing in had a hard time to go up. That will then serve as my current level of support. So right now, if this were not the spiders but an individual stock, this would be my line in the sand. All right, this would be my line in the sand. I don't know why there it is. Now, better yet, because I have a trend line, because I now have a trend line tracking the higher lows, this could actually be my better line in the sand. Does that make sense, Leonardo? That would be my better line in the sand than to give back all of this. All right, so if I can draw a trend line connecting higher lows, this would be a good line in the sand. How about a stop price being a line in the sand? So, Yogs, absolutely. The VectorVest stop price is only germane to the VectorVest software. Okay? It is a 13-week moving average adjusted for the fundamentals of the stock. Now, I always tell people in regards to the stop price in the VectorVest software, you can either use it as gospel or guide. A lot of people will say, well, that stop is so far below where that price is, I don't want to get out of it. I don't want to give all that back. So, Yogs, I like the idea of using the stop price as either a gospel or a guide. And as Roger said, a great stop is the Profit Locker Pro, which is also only found in VectorVest. So keeping all of this in mind, folks, for 99 cents, you get access to this kind of information, which helps you define your line in the sand, whether it's a trend line or a level of support. Learning how to use a stop like a profit locker that is only in the VectorVest software. All of this you get for your 99-cent 30-day trial. All right, so I think that's all of the questions that I have. Joey's typing something into me. Make sure that as we go throughout our day, hit the like button. If you like the information that's coming along, if I'm answering your questions, hit the like button. Let's get the likes up today, number one, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All right. Why do I see mug coming up? That's okay. All right. Let me close out of that. Let's get into my next story. All right. As I go back, my next story is about coronavirus. Why? Because we talk about it every week. And it's interesting how coronavirus, the whole idea of coronavirus, hit home from a governmental standpoint this week. The President of the United States came down with coronavirus. All right. Now, interesting that as we look at that happening, and, you know, I didn't want to say close to home just in general because there's a lot of us who have been affected by either personal COVID-19 or family members or really close friends. I know I've got a lot of close friends that have come down with COVID-19, all right, or coronavirus. But when you see it in the highest ranks of the government, if you hadn't already taken notice, you should, all right? So it is a serious thing. It is a serious thing. I look at my parents. I try to touch base with them as much as I can. I know in the past I haven't as much as I should have, but I try to, make sure, especially going through this time, make sure that they're okay. And I think that all of us, just from a human perspective, need to check on people you care about, especially people that you love. So I say that because one of the drugs that we've had highlighted in Trending Thursdays was Regeneron. Regeneron was administered to the president while he was at Walter Reed. And a story comes out, this was today, Regeneron requests emergency use approval for antibody treatment taken by Trump. And the stock rose 4% in pre-market. So I hate to pose it this way, but there's a lot of stocks in this space that are prime to make money. And I hate to make money off of people's misfortunes, but from a stock perspective, what do you buy? You buy stocks that people are going to invest in. You invest in stocks that people, that will make money. So Regeneron is out there. This is a stock that we have talked about on more than one occasion. The Regeneron REGN COV2 monoclonal. I hate the big words. Joey, spell that out. Monoclonal. Use Sound it out. All right, antibody coronavirus therapy is what President Donald Trump took last week. The biotech company said if an EUA is granted, the government has committed to making these doses available to the American people at no cost, and would be responsible for their distribution. That's huge. All right, that's huge. Now, as I go back, I have another story that deals with this, and Moderna. Moderna said the company is also willing to license the technology behind its experimental corona vaccine. They are not going to be pushing to enforce vaccine patents. Normally, when a lot of these pharmaceuticals come out with something, they have the patent on the drug, which is why if you need the drug, you can only get the real version of the drug. But as time goes along, when a company loses their patent, then you can get generic drugs, all right, which are tend to be a lot less expensive. But Moderna is already pushing not to enforce the patent on the drug during the pandemic. So that's two different companies willing to get the drug or the vaccine out to the people at little or no cost. And COVID, it looks like, or Moderna is not looking to make a ton of money by holding the patents on the drug, which I think is admirable for both companies. But both companies are out there. Moderna has been my stock of choice, even though it's been tough to trade. Moderna was one of my favorites because it made the news a lot. At the time that I really was looking at it, it was doing well, but this is why I have the power of the VectorVest software, that as the stock pulled back, I looked for other stocks within our COVID-19 list to take a look at. Again, understanding now your what to buy. Looking at a graph on the stock is going to help to determine whether it's good enough to buy. What else can we use for our what to buy? Use the analysis from the VectorVest software to solidify your decision. So these are the two stocks that made the news that I'm going to keep my eyes on. We're going to get back into the software, and on our watch list, how come it didn't do that? Anyway, in our watch list, those two stocks are here. There's Regeneron, and then here's MRNA. Now, as I look at these stocks, here's another value add to taking out a trial to the VectorVest software. When I look at a watch list of stocks, it's automatically sorted by our master proprietary indicator, VST, which stands for value, safety, and timing. The VST will show me the combination of relative value, relative safety, relative timing, and the stocks that have the best combination of those three will be sorted at the top of the list all the way down. So notice that Regeneron, in my list of 11 stocks, has the third best combination of value, safety, and timing. From a what to buy scenario, that looks good. Whereas Moderna is towards the bottom of the list, and this indicator, VST, is cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. Moderna's got a VST at 1. Let's analyze it further. 1, Regeneron, the stock's price is trading at 602. The value is what we feel the stock is currently worth, is trading at $1,023. The stock is currently trading under its value. Our mantra is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Well, clearly Regeneron meets the first criteria of being an undervalued stock. As we look at Moderna, on the other hand, it's trading at 72.5, but the value is at 33.5. This stock is clearly trading over its value. Now, just because a stock is an overvalued stock doesn't make it a bad stock, and that's why further analysis using the VectorVest software is going to be ideal in helping you to make better decisions. Now, let's go look at our proprietary indicators, starting with relative value. RV looks at the stock's long-term upside potential, that over the next 1 to 3 years, this stock should or could it outperform an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. When you buy a bond, you buy it, it matures. After it matures, you get back all of your money with a little interest for saying thank you for buying into this bond. It's a relatively safe investment. Well, all of these indicators, RV, RS, RT, VST, and CI, are all cast on that scale between 0 and 2, where above 1 is favorable and below 1 is unfavorable. Regeneron's relative value at 1.59, clearly above the value of 1, so it's favorable. What we're saying, that the upside potential on Regeneron should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 59% over the next 1 to 3 years. So now I know this is a pharmaceutical company that is undervalued, that over the next 1 to 3 years, I wouldn't mind holding. It's got good upside potential. Moderna, on the other hand, has got a relative value at 1.13. This company should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 13% over the next 1 to 3 years. So still a good upside potential. The next indicator, relative safety, RS. This is an indicator of risk. Before you get into any stock, you need to know how risky it is. Because some of you may want to take on a little bit more risk to get some more upside on the stock. Where many of you will say, well, I don't want to be in a risky stock, and that's okay. This indicator, relative safety, will show you how risky the stock that you're looking at is. So relative safety looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Layman's terms, does this company make money quarter over quarter, year over year? High relative safety stocks are stocks that consistently beat or exceed their earnings expectations. Well, if a company does that over and over, it becomes very attractive to investors. Regeneron, not a risky stock even as a pharmaceutical. Whereas Moderna, on the other hand, has got a relative safety at 0.92, a little bit more risky. So the stock's got good upside potential, but if I want to buy it, I already know that I'm going to assume more risk to own this stock. There you go, folks. This is going to help you with your what to buy. VectorVest automatically goes to work for you in the analysis stage to help you to make a better decision in the stock. Now, the next indicator, but the next indicator, RT, is our technical indicator. We are one of the only companies in this industry that when we analyze a stock, we look at the fundamental analysis and we bring in the insight of technical analysis. Relative timing looks at the short-term price trend of the stock. Is the stock going up or down in price? Above 1, the stock's in an uptrend. Below 1, the stock's in a downtrend. So I can look at Regeneron. It is definitely fundamentally sound, but what's hurting it? The stock is not currently in an uptrend right now. Well, if I want to hold this stock long term, how about this? The stock's got good earnings per share with EPS, and they grow their earnings at a clip of 21%. The stock, though, does not pay a dividend. But I know that the earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, and they grow their earnings at a clip of 21%. Regeneron still looks like a good stock. Just saying that right now from a what to buy, doesn't look right yet. I'd like to see the RT go above the value of 1, show me that the stock is now in an uptrend. Whereas I look at Moderna, it's got an RT of 0.96. Again, below that value of 1, the stock's in a downtrend, but they've got positive earnings and they grow theirs even better than Regeneron at 32% a year. So I know that if I take this stock, it's got good upside potential. It is a stock that is a little bit more risky and it's not going up yet. Maybe I wait on this stock. This is the kind of analysis that helps you to make the right decision at the right time, which helps to bolster your ability to have a solid trading plan of knowing when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. All right, so those are my 2 coronavirus stocks. Anybody have any question? And somebody says, I'm not upset with Lynn. Me and Lynn got over that long time ago about the double dipping.
No,
we got over a long
said
time.
She was late.
Okay.
She was late, and this guy said that he's upset at you, and it's just a joke.
Peter says, why is it? I'm not upset. So now Lynn knows. Glenn, no, I'm not upset with you. All right, any questions? Any questions? How do I know when to enter the trade? So, Eddie, that's a good point. Did I look at the graphs of these stocks? I didn't yet, right? Let's go right-click since they're both highlighted, all right? And let's go view the stock graph. All right, this is where you're going to make your decision on when to get in. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. All right, I normally have moving averages on my graph, and I'm going to put on a 20-period EMA, 20-period exponential moving average. And the reason why I do that is because a lot of people in here are not VectorVest subscribers, and at least I want to give you a better view from a longer-term perspective. One, I'd like to see if the stock is above the 20-day exponential moving average. If it is, that normally means it's a good time to get into it. But notice that I've got a green bar today. It's a bullish bar, but it's a closed candle, which means that the price of the stock is trading lower than it's open. So today, the open price was $614. The current price is $602. The stock is trending lower from its open. Now, why is it green if the stock's price is going down? It's green because this candle is higher than the previous day's candle. So it's green. But the closed candle means that the stock's price is trending lower from its open. So would I buy Regeneron today? No. I always want to buy a stock on an open green candle, number one. Number two, that indicator that looks at if a stock is in an uptrend or not, relative timing, is not above 1. So number two, I'm not ready to buy it just quite yet. Go ahead. CT's question. If the color guard is green, and the stock is a buy, but the stock has been a buy for many weeks, will it still go higher? A lot of times it will. How many times have you looked at a really good stock that's remained buy for a long time? Well, it's because it's meeting all of the criteria for being a buy recommendation. I am never afraid to buy into a stock in a rising market that's a buy recommendation, even if it's been a buy a long time. The stock is doing exactly what you want it to do. But if I look at a graph to help me to manage the trade, I look to see if the stock is above that 20-day exponential moving average. How about when I see a stock's relative timing go from above 1 to below 1, telling me that the stock's in a downtrend at that point? Is that a good opportunity to get out? Absolutely. Now, I always see people get mad at me when I don't answer your questions. One, slow down. Number two, there's a lot of people in the room and there's a lot of chatter going on, and Joey is trying to do a really good job of pointing out questions as they come up. So just keep that in mind and do not get really ticked off with me if I don't answer your question. All right, I'm just putting that out there. I do a lot to make sure I answer everybody's questions, so please keep that in mind. Nabil says, what about volume and economic indicators? So, Nabil, we already looked at some of the economic indicators on what's moving the market. As far as all of the other things that you're used to, if you still want to look at that stuff, do it. I am consistently comfortable and confident with looking at that VVC to help me to know what's truly going on in the market. Because there's a lot of news telling you a lot of different things, and guess what? Your head's on a swivel like this trying to keep up with what's going on to make a decision. I am going to look at the VectorVest composite. I'm going to teach you how to effectively look at the VectorVest composite, and you're going to get to a point where you're going to be comfortable looking at the move of over 8,300 stocks from an economic standpoint. Now, would you consider holding a stock 1 to 3 years? I'm okay with that as long as a couple of things are going on. One, the stock's got to be optionable. Two, the stock's got to be paying me a dividend. And three, the earnings have to be rising on the stock. Those three things will help me. Now, Apple is a great stock. I would love to hold, and I've done it on more than one occasion, holding a stock like Apple long term. But because it pays and because it does trade options when it goes down, instead of getting out of the stock, I will put a protective put on the stock, or I will trade a covered call on the stock. But as long as the stock, even if it goes down, I still get paid a dividend, that helps to offset the price depreciation, and the selling of the option puts money into my account. Absolutely, Lynn. I will hold a really good stock 1 to 3 years. Sandy says, Glenn, do you know why VectorVest is stopping user groups all over the country? I found them very helpful. I find our YouTube channel very helpful. Hope they're not going to put that down also. No. I think a lot of that with the user groups is for a couple of reasons. One, because of what's going on with COVID, number one. Number two, Stan Heller does a good job with the international user group. I think it's going to push more people to the international user group. And it was a management decision. It was strictly a management decision in regards to that. So that's how that went. SBot says, would you buy a stock even if it reached the 52-week high? Absolutely. I'm not afraid of buying stocks that hit a new high. Why? Because they are, again, doing what I want them to do. Now, if you're afraid of buying a stock that hits a new 52-week high because you know that it'll tend to pull back, put that stock into a watch list. Remember, I'm talking to you about the VectorVest helping you to put together a system of knowing when to buy, when to sell. Well, you've already got the what to buy because the stock hit a new 52-week high. What am I looking for now is the when to buy. So hopefully that makes sense. Just because the stock hit a 52-week high and it may pull back doesn't mean I'm not going to buy it. 52-week high means it hit a 52-week high prior, hit another 52-week high prior. It's doing exactly what you want it to do. One last question before I move on to my next story. Mike says, is there a calculator in VectorVest that will produce an annualized rate of return on a stock over a specified past period of time? And actually, Mike, if you do a quick test on a stock from a specific date to a now date, you will see the annualized rate of return on that stock. I don't get into that in here, but as part of that trial to the VectorVest software for 99 cents, you can get an annualized rate of return on any stock you want by doing a quick test. I said only one, but Joey get. John says, I have been buying stocks over the past 15 years, but have not really done well. So I believe it is time to do something different for continued education and help me be a better investor. And John, for 99 cents, and you're going to hear me say that over and over again, for 99 cents, you get a value-added software that's going to help you put into play, John, a trading plan of knowing when to buy and what to buy and when to sell. And I think that anybody in this room that goes outside of the realm of that from a trading plan makes it more esoteric than you need to do. It really is simple for a trading plan to know when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. If you can master that, you will make a difference in your trading. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you know something, VV Nation, I want you to stand up real quick. How many of you, and you know, I'm putting myself out there on a limb right now because it could go against me. How many of you in VV Nation are making money using the VectorVest software? Again, this is a genuine question in a live presentation that can go either way. But take a look. My VV Nation people, step up real quick and let me know. Let the people in this room who are not subscribers, let them know. Folks, I put that out there for a reason so that you can see it. I put that question out there for a reason so that you can see it live. This ain't me just telling you that I use it because I do, but this is my people out there who are subscribers to the software, thus the reason they are VV Nation. All right? So with that. And folks, again, I say it again, 99 cents gets you this kind of information for 30 days. 99 cents. Real quick, if you like what's being done here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. All right, let's get to my next story in regards to real estate. Real estate's going to be a hot topic. All right, let me explain to you why. All right, real estate. San Francisco office rents tumble and show no sign of bottoming. You know why office rents are tumbling? Because more and more people are working remotely from home. And you know what else is coming up? Employers are realizing that people are getting work done from home. And if their companies are still hitting their targets and making money, why do I need to now call my people back from home back to the office? Think about that. I'm thinking that, all right, and I don't know if you've already thought about it from this perspective, but I'm thinking that the real estate the commercial real estate market is going to take a big hit if people still remain at home. Now, it's not that they're not working. They are still working, but they're doing it from home. The people that are here, Joey's one of the people that works from home for the most part, except for he comes in for me on Trending Thursday. Joey, are you productive at home?
Yes.
And he gets all the work done that he's got to get done from home. And I'm thinking that employers are seeing that. And so San Francisco office rents tumble. Commercial real estate property foreclosures are poised to rise as COVID-19 lingers. All right, so I don't know if you are aware of that, and I don't know if you've ever taken that track of thought in regards to COVID-19 is changing the paradigm of how we do business. Instead of flying from country to country to meet with people live, you're doing it virtually. All right, just think about that. And last but not least, Jay, are you here? Jay is a New York kind of guy.
Jay left. He went to the Jerry's thing.
Oh, he did. Empty rental apartments in Manhattan tripled, nearly hitting 16,000. I know that this is not commercial real estate, but I'm putting that out there from a real estate perspective as well. The number of apartments for rent in Manhattan tripled, and with nearly 16,000 apartments sitting empty, according to the data from Element and Miller. The vacancy rate in Manhattan, which is typically 2 to 3%, is now just under 6%. And I'm sure that New York is not the only effect of that, but that's apartment rentals. All right. So in this week, and from the real estate perspective, I wanted to do something a little different. Instead of trying to hone in on how to trade it, I brought up two ETFs for you. The Spider Real Estate, which is an ETF XLRE, and the WisdomTree for real estate, DRW. These are both bullish ETFs for real estate. Notice that the price and the value will remain the same because it's tough to do that with an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund. An exchange-traded fund will either track an index or will track a group of stocks in one area. All right, so it's tough to put a price and a value and relative value and relative safety because they move a lot. It's hard to put a relative value and a relative safety on them, but I can track their relative timings to tell me if they are moving up or moving down. Notice that the XLRE, the Spiders Real Estate, does have a buy recommendation, whereas the WisdomTree Real Estate has got a hold recommendation. Both of them are in an uptrend. I'm going to show you something, though. As I look at the graphs, notice the sideways move on real estate, and this is after COVID-19, people working from home. All right, look at that sideways move. That gives me more reason for pause when looking at the commercial real estate sector. Let's go make that a little darker. I've got a level of resistance on that industry sitting at the value price of $37.84. The ETF is currently trading at $36.92. I've got that 20-day exponential moving average. Recently, it went across. RT is rising. But until it can get above that level of $37.84, I'm not thinking about buying it right now. Now, that's real estate as a whole. Let's go to the next one. Same kind of scenario, right? Whereas DRW, this one is a little bit more gappy. I ain't feeling that nearly as much. This is a little bit more gappy up and down. I would stay more so with the XLRE from this perspective, but this is the bullish portion of real estate. Now, guess what? When real estate starts, when it catches up, this might be a good shorting candidate. And I'm not trying to be the bringer of doom and gloom to this space. I'm just giving what the facts are. I'm just like Dragnet. I'm all about Dragnet, just the facts. You can't call me Friday, though. Just call me Thursday, because this is Trending Thursday. I'm Officer Thursday. It's just the facts. So I'm giving just the facts, but something to keep your eyes on in case you haven't already started thinking down that path. Any questions? Oh, David is here. David, sounds like the Marines are playing. Whatever.
Marlins.
Is that the Marlins? Oh. Any questions, Joey, that you saw that I need to take a look at?
What is the thin gold line?
What is the thin gold line? Oh, when I was looking at the graphs, the thin gold line is the previous day's close. The thin gold line, and I can always look at the thin gold line to see where today's price is compared to yesterday's close to see if the stock is moving up or down. Always, every stock has the last close. All right. Any other questions, Joey?
Does the software cover all sectors for the same price, and is there an annual fee for data retention?
Say it again. Does the software cover all sectors for the same price? The answer to your question is yes. So there's no annual fee for data retention. Real quick, I'm going to give you, remember I keep talking about this 99-cent trial? Watch this. I'm going to go to our viewers tab, and I'm going to go to our industry viewer. All right? So who asked me that question? That was Nabil. Nabil, look at this. We've tracked 221 industries. This is all part of your 99-cent trial, folks. And I can see what is the best industry at any point in time out of the 221. You have access to this right here. Right here. Your 99-cent trial gives you access to this right here. Just like that. Now, Nabil, if you say you're in, you need to click the link that Joey types into the room. You've got to click that YT link because we'll know that you're coming from YouTube. You'll know that we're coming from YouTube. Now, Nabil says, how much will it be afterwards? Once you take that trial, talk to our product support staff. There's different levels of software based upon your data feed. All right, so that's what I'm going to tell you to do. Jared says, are you using an EMA or MA for indicators? Right now on my graphs, I use an exponential moving average. We track 3 different types. We have a simple moving average, an exponential moving average, or a weighted moving average. And I've done videos, and that's another thing that you get with your trial. I've got a series of videos known as Getting Started. If you go to our training tab, I've got a Training Tuesday navigational series that's there for you, especially and it's free. There's 16 different videos. I walk you through how to use each and every tab in the VectorVest software. And folks, this is free. Absolutely free to teach you how to make money in the market.
All right, let's help her out real quick.
All right, Amir says, it's not working for me. I've been trying for the last 24 hours. On what? Oh, to get into the link?
Yeah, so we're just going to click the link right here, and it's going to open.
All right, so Joey typed the link into the room. There's the link. He clicked the link in the room, and this is what it looks like. All right, how do you sign in to start? There you go, right there.
Just give him the link.
The link is www.vectorvest.com/YT. As a Marine Corps an individual, it's Yankee Tango. All right, YT. And so let's do this. Do one other thing. Joey put the link in there, but I'm going to show you. www.vectorvest.com/YT. I did it right here. And there's the link comes up. There you go. All right, there you go. Thank you for that, Michael. All my VV Nation people will help out all you new guys in the room. That's another good thing about this room. This room, all you guys will help you. All you guys will help you. After this page, it gets an error. I'm not going to fill it out because if I do, that'd be bad. All right, but notice that
if she's already had the trial, maybe it'll give
if you already had the trial, it may not give it to you. Amir, you gotta double check. If you have a problem, give our product support staff a call. All right. I tried to sign up for the 99-cent deal, but it won't allow me saying I already have an account. Any suggestions? You got to give product support a call, Christian. Got to give us a product. And let them know that you saw this from YouTube, If anybody does call up from YouTube, tell the product support rep that you saw this special on YouTube. And Joey put the phone number in there for you. All right. And again, for all my people in here, VV Nation, thank you for helping me answer the questions for the people in the room. All right, there you go. All right, ready to rock and roll. let's go to my next story. My next story is travel stocks. Wow. Thank you, Mark. Way to go. Thank you, Mark. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. And you know something? I never talk about that. You can actually give money to us because I figured you know that you can. But Mark, that was outstanding, man. It says, VectorVest has made me enough money this week to pay for my subscription and to buy a mug for Joey to give away. There you go. We got to give away a mug now. We got to give away a mug now. And that's on Mark. That's not even on us. That's on Mark. Joey is going to monitor the chat. Joey is going to monitor the chat. Joey is going to pick who gets the mug today. So please do not type mug in the room. But Mark, thank you for that. Someone will get a mug today. Thanks. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to Mark. Again, I'm going to ask one more time. Please don't type mug in the room. Joey will pick somebody. All right. So let's talk about travel stocks. All right. In our hot stock panel yesterday, we had Susan Hayes Colton, who's an awesome individual. Talk about Royal Caribbean, but Norwegian Cruise Line pushes back the cruise restart timeline. I know that there's probably a lot of people out there who are wishing to get back out, whether it's on a plane for vacation or taking a cruise. I totally understand that. But my mention yesterday was I think that it is a mentality thinking that, are you ready to be on a ship with a bunch of people knowing that COVID-19 is out there? And, understand this as well. I know it seems like they're going to make sure that you check everybody before you get on the boat, the whole 9 yards. It really is. COVID-19 has taken a toll on people. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They pushed back their cruise start date. The company says it will continue to work in tandem with global government, because remember, they go all over the world, and public health authorities and its healthy sail panel experts advisors to take all necessary measures to protect its guests, crews, and the communities visited. That's tough. All right. And, the whole idea is, are people over it yet? From the standpoint of it's come, it's taken names, and it's kicked butt. Are people over it? When Joey gets this video out there, I want you to comment on this video. When Joey puts it out, are you comfortable traveling yet? Don't type it in the room here. Once Joey, or you can type it in the room here if you want to, but once Joey puts this video out on the travel stocks, I'm curious to know, how comfortable are you out there in VV Nation? How many of you are comfortable traveling yet, whether it's on a plane or whether it's on a boat? All right, so now in my list, I have Norwegian Cruise Lines, but I also put airlines. All right, where's my list? All right, I also put airlines. All right, so I was going to go back to my watch list, go back and find my 10-8-20. So I looked at two stocks in this space. All right, notice that, I'll move this over, Norwegian Cruise Lines and Jets. Now remember that my watch list, the only place you'll find this happening when you build a watch list is sorted by that indicator, VST, our master indicator, right? Right? And notice where Jets sits, in the middle. It's got a VST of over 1 overall. Interesting. Norwegian Cruise Lines has a VST of just right at 1. All right. Jets is an ETF, which looks at all of the airlines. Notice that the RT on it is above 1. The airlines are rising. Why? Because the government is starting to put out money to help bail them out. All right, only a couple, I think it was United Airlines that took bail money, but American did not, Love did not. Not all of the airlines are taking the money, but a couple of them are to keep them afloat. Because without people flying, they're not making any money, right? So notice that overall, though, Jets is on the rise with an RT above 1. Notice a Caribbean Norwegian cruise. It's got an RT above 1 as well. This is why I ask the question. Are people over this yet? Are they more apt, and as I pull up my graph, are they more apt to want to jump out now and start to run and travel? So here's Norwegian, 3-month graph, above the 20-day moving average, exponential moving average, RT above 1. Interesting. Even though they push back the date on kicking off on cruising again, look at the stock's price. Candlestick pattern known right here as a hammer as the stock's price fell, which was a possible reversal. Boom. From a technical standpoint, the stock's above the 20-day exponential moving average. What would I be looking for if I'm thinking about getting in? I know that RT is above 1. Let's take out that high. Let's make sure we're buying into the stock as it's rising. I've got a high sitting at $19.17. That's probably my get-in period. That's probably my get-in period. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Over the last 3 months, it's trading in a little bit of a channel as well, isn't it? With a support level on Norwegian sitting at a price of $12.56. So I've got a nice little 3-month channel, and the stock's price bounced off support, went above the 20-day exponential moving average, stayed above, got to that level of resistance, pulled back. I think that if I'm trying to time when to be in and out because it's in the channel, when it's above the 20-day exponential moving average, it's okay to be in it. When it's below the 20-day exponential moving average, it's a good time to get out of it. Right now, I'm saying it's a good time to be in it. Watch today's activity, a closed candle. Again, the price is lower than the open. The price is moving lower than it was from the opening, but still higher than the previous day. Let's go look at Jets. Airlines sort of kind of doing the same thing. Let's draw this line. Actually, let's draw an extended line. So as we come back to this again, that line will automatically be there. All right, there it is. A little bit of an uptrend coming off of that low. Let's make that a little darker so that you can see it. All right, so Jets also in an uptrend. RT is above 1. I do have a level of resistance over the last 3 months sitting at about $19.13. So if I'm going to look to get into this stock, that's probably a good profit target right now, unless it can break above and RT stays above 1. Again, the news is out there. Looking at this stock, I'm still giving you an opportunity just by analysis to help you to time the right opportunity to get in the stock. All right, folks, let's check and see. You guys got any questions about this story? Just understand, and somebody's talking about flights to nowhere. I saw that. I've got a couple of customers who are pilots, and they're letting me know that they still have to fly some of their planes empty. Just, if they've got a German spot in the terminal, in order to keep that spot, they still have to land at that terminal every so often. So a lot of these airlines, a lot of these planes are flying empty to maintain their spots at global terminals. So that's very interesting. All right. Any other questions? Bought all airlines thinking to keep them for 3 years. Amir, think about this. Airlines and all these travel stocks have been decimated. At some point, they're going to have to come back. But you got to have some kind of intestinal fortitude to sit and want to hold that for 1 to 3 years. At some point, they are going to come back. I'd rather put my money in stocks that are working now and time my opportunities to get into something like the travel stocks. And at least this is a good way to start looking about that. Any other questions? What do you think of GSX? Peter, I'm going to give us an opportunity to look at individual stocks at the end. All right. All right. Any other? I wasn't going to say that. That is Dr. Paul says you got to have testicular fortitude. But not everyone in this room can have that. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Sandy Bach won the mug from Mark. Sandy Bach won the mug from Mark. Mark, thank you for putting that mug out there for someone to win today. Joey just said it was Sandy Bach. Sandy, you've got to send an email to marketing@VectorVest.com. But Sandy Bach won it. All right? So there you go. Joey's cousin, no. And Mark, that was awesome for you to do that. And that's a VV Nation. There, Sandy says thank you. That's a VV Nation person did that. That was awesome that Mark did that for us. All right. Any other questions? If there's no more questions, let me go to my next story. Retail stocks. All right. And with everything that's still going on, retail stocks. Woo-wee. Here's a retail stock that just keeps on retailing. This was another stock that was in our hot panel this week, our hot stock panel. Dollar General targets a higher-end shopper in the suburbs with a new store, Pop Shelf. That's interesting. Dollar General has been making money hand over fist during this time period, even with people going to the store during COVID-19. Interesting thing about Dollar General is that they are in every nook and cranny in the country. You could be driving for like 30 miles and don't see anything, and all of a sudden, boop, there's a Dollar General. Dollar General looks like they buy up every nook and cranny of space around the United States, and there's a store. All right? But listen, they're making money. And I like this idea. Higher-end shoppers in the suburbs, they're already making money. What are they trying to do? Make more money. All right, Dollar General is launching a new store, Pop Shelf, aimed at wealthier customers. So you know something? They may not be the Walmarts or the Targets of the world, but they might be trying to put out a little store to at least go after the Walmarts and the Targets of the world. Interesting. It will feature home decor, beauty items, cleaning supplies, party goods, and more, with the majority of the items costing $5 or less. Interesting. Higher-end shopper, that means they got some dough, there's still going to be an appeal to buy less for less money, right? How do rich people stay rich? They spend less money. Think about that. That's how Joey stays rich. Well, Joey's not as rich as me. Wow. You know, it's not debatable. You ain't as rich as I am. That's all I'm going to say about that. But interesting how Dollar General's plan or model is they're already making money. Why not make more and go out into the suburbs where people got money and still go at them cheap? Why not open Million General instead of Dollar General? That's kind of funny. You even got Joey laughing on that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of, instead of calling it Dollar General, let's call it Million General. Heard Joey is a millionaire. You heard wrong, Peter. Well said. Terminal sandwich. Huh? It's way more than that. Whatever. Joey doesn't know. Eventually, the government stimulus must end. I don't disagree with that at some point in time. That the stimulus is going to end. When people start, when more and more people start working, they're not going to need the stimulus. But as they're still not working, they probably still need the stimulus. But at some point in time, you're going to have to stop it. I hear that. All right. So I'm looking to see, another story. Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza drops as compensation hits profit. Why is the compensation hitting? Well, people call out sick. And if you got medical, you got to pay for it, right? So Domino's drops its compensation sits. Domino's sold a lot of pizzas during COVID-19, and they helped themselves to a slice of the pie. Beautiful. Profits missed expectations because of higher variable performance-based compensation and enhanced sick pay for frontline workers because of the coronavirus. So yeah, a lot of companies thrive during coronavirus, but they put their people, and don't hit me up for this. Well, Glenn said that they put their people up in front of them. Listen, the story says these people got to work, right? And they got to work around each other, right? Which increases the probability that they would get COVID-19. And by that, if you're offering some kind of a medical plan, you got to pay for that. And I think that that's what hit their earnings. All right, even though they were delivering pizzas, Joey, if you look at Joey must have been buying Domino's every night. I mean, and then some. I'm looking at Joey. I'm like, how many pizzas did you get? A lot.
I know. Sit a lot closer to that desk if your belly wasn't so good.
My belly not that big. I got sexy belly.
You'd be way closer to the camera.
No, this is sexy. That's not so sexy. All right. So with that, they made money during the COVID-19 because they were delivering pizzas, that was great, but it took a little bit of an effect a toll on them with people contracting COVID. And this is a story I really like. Lowe's. And I happen to be a Lowe's fan because I'm a NASCAR fan and I'm a Jimmy Johnson fan. So Lowe's resonates with me. And Joey, on the other hand, is a smoke fan, which was, he did drive to Home Depot. Yep. He did. That was Tony Stewart. He drove to Home Depot. It's very interesting how I will go out of my way not to go to Home Depot to go to Lowe's because of Jimmy Johnson. But this cool story is Lowe's gives $100 million more in bonuses to hourly employees. Why? Because they made a lot of money during COVID-19. I will give $100 million more bonuses to hourly employees in mid-October as strong demand for home improvement supplies continues. This is an awesome story that a company that was able to survive during the pandemic is paying their employees who worked through it. That is awesome. The retailer paid more than $675 million in additional pay to employees this year, including the latest rounds. Folks, not every company is able to do this, but when a company as big as Lowe's can do this, that is awesome. Home Depot thrived during not survive. Home Depot didn't go out of business. Not that I know of. They didn't go out of business. Lowe's also announced a cash tender offer to up to $3.5 billion of outstanding debt securities. That is just a cool story. Is Costco a good buy? Huh? I am. We'll see. Boom. All right, so I like that story. That was a feel-good story in the place of retail. All right, so let's go look at them. Look at where Lowe's sits in my list. Number 1. Look where Dollar General sits. Number 2. Look at where Domino's sits. Number 4. Remember, these stocks are listed by our master indicator, VST. These are some of these retail stocks during COVID-19 are some of the best stocks in the list. Upside potential, really good on all of them. These companies keep meeting or exceeding their earnings expectations with high relative safeties. Domino's is not going up as fast as far as relative timing, but Lowe's and Dollar General are. And all 3 companies are growing their earnings at a clip of double digits. So, interesting. Let's go take a look at their graphs, view the stock graph. And guess what? Look at Lowe's, 3-month graph. Look at Lowe's. I love that feel-good story about what they're doing for their employees. I'm going to put a level of resistance. Take off the glass close. Put a level of resistance, style, make it a little darker so you can see it. Sitting at a value of about 171. The stock's trading at 170.55. I love that. Notice though, this is why this is important for your when to buy. 1, 2, 3, 4 times in or touching the zone of that level of resistance. I really want to see the stock's price break above that before I pull the trigger. Everybody in the room, type in the room if you understand what I just said. This is why I look for levels of support and resistance before I pull the trigger on the stock. That's a telling sign. If I'm going to pull the trigger on the stock, I love that it's above that 20-day exponential moving average. And the question is, I own Lowe's. Should I keep it? Leave it alone, Mike. There's nothing telling me right now to get rid of it. All right? And that's what your stops are for, Mike. Use your stops to make sure, how you invest. That's going to actually tell you as well. All right. Any questions on my retail stocks? Any questions on that? Any questions?
Yet, but remind them to like and subscribe.
All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like. How many likes do we have?
100.
100. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes before we end today. All right. For all my new people out there, if you liked what you saw today, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. And all that does is, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. That gives you an opportunity to know all of the new content that comes out. If you really like what you saw here, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Why 20 day?
Huh?
Why 20 day?
Why 20 day? For me personally, it's a good middle of the road exponential moving average or a good middle of the road moving average. 10 is for more of a trade. 50 is more for a way longer term, 15 and 200. 20 is a good middle of the road moving average for those people who are trying to swing trade or hold stocks a little longer than just a day. All right. So personally, I like the 20-day exponential moving average from that perspective, and I also like looking at a 3-month graph because that's always going to include the earnings picture on the stock because earnings comes out every 3 months on the stock, and earnings is the biggest mover of a stock's price. All right. So I always want to watch that as well.
How do you put those stops?
How do you put the stops? Put those stops. What do you mean the stops? What do you mean? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean those stops, I need to know what you mean. Stops. All right. Only 30% of the streamers, says Patrick. I'm not sure. Patrick says, will we reach ATH gain by year? What gain? I'm not sure what you're asking, Patrick. Understand a lot of I may not understand everybody's questions. You got to type it in a way that I can try to understand what you're saying. And I don't mean that in a bad way. All right.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do the recap from yesterday?
I want to do
the stock picks.
What do you think we should do?
3:15. It's going to take you at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want. It's going to take you to do the recap?
Not long. All right. So what we're going to do this week, we're going to do a recap of yesterday's hot stock panel. All right. We're going to do a recap of yesterday's hot stock panel, which was 10-7. Here's where the seven stocks that we picked. In case you missed it, renewable energy, REGI, top of the list by way of VST. Dollar General in the list. West Farm, that was a stock that I picked, is in the list. Apogee, iClean, also looking at clean energy, is one ticker symbol, which is kind of cool. Royal Caribbean was in here. Interesting stock about cybersecurity. Hack was in here. All of the stocks, with the exception of one, were buy recommendations. All good picks for the most part. If I graph them all, I think that you'd be very happy with these as hot stocks. Look at these equity curves. 20-day exponential moving average, relative timing, same thing. Look at Dollar General. West Farm, a little bit of a sideways move, but moving up. And APOG, a little bit more choppy, but definitely moving up with that relative timing, moving up as well. iClean, I love this stock from clean energy perspective, folks. Clean energy is a hot industry. This is one ticker symbol to trade the whole industry. Royal Caribbean, we looked at Norwegian today. Here's Royal Caribbean doing a lot of the same things that Norwegian is in that little bit of a channel. This is a rising channel. I'd like to see if it can break above that level of resistance. Hack moving above. Tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do for all of the stocks today because I don't have the time.
Here's these questions.
All right. Like how you answer. Huh?
She likes how you answer all the questions.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and then this one says...
Will we reach S&P all-time high again by... Oh, Patrick, one thing I will not do. I won't guess on stuff like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm on a one-year graph. I don't know. I will not speculate on what's going to happen. I can't do that. All right. Do you recommend... Oh, stops like support. Oh, how do you put on stops like support and resistance? Let me show you something real quick. I have, and again, this is part of your 99-cent trial. I can add a parameter to the graph, technical analysis. Look at this, I can put support resistance. I can click that box and it will automatically draw a support and resistance line for me. How cool is that? This is still all part of that 99-cent trial, folks. It will draw support and resistance lines for me automatically. All right. So that's how you do that. Low-I. Do you recommend American Airlines? What is the best website that gives you legit companies that will go IPO? There's a ticker symbol for IPO companies. If you don't know all of them that are going IPO, how about I can play a ticker symbol that tracks all of the IPOs in one ticker symbol? I know. So these are all of the IPOs that have come out, tracking all of them in one ticker symbol. How cool is that? Who asked me that? That was Lua. How about that? How many of you knew that that's available? That's one ticker symbol that tracks all of the IPOs. And guess what? You can play that. That's really kind of cool. I find the 20-day MA crossover coincides with RT crossovers. Not all the time, Raphael, but you know something? If it works out that way, that's kind of cool. That works out nicely. Difference between the mobile version and the desktop is a big difference. The laptop or your computer has the whole program. Remember, the mobile version is a truncated version of the software. It's not designed to hold the full version of the software. It is for mobility or to be on the go. So a lot of the pertinent information that you want on your phone from the software will be here, but not everything. The computer-based side of the software is going to give you everything you need. All right? Hold on, Joey. I'm going to look at a couple of GSX, and I keep hearing about Thor, THO. I don't know what happened with Thor. And just because I look at the graph, still not going to tell me what happened with Thor unless I take a look at the stock. GSX, let's take off the last close. And again, I want you guys to start getting used to looking at a graph. What do you see here? Let's take off DYCI. What do you see? What's the stock doing? Well, first off, and I think I'm going to start doing this. I don't mind answering your stock questions, but I don't want you guys to sell yourselves short. First thing, I see the stock's price is going up. What else do I see? I see the stock price stopping at a level of resistance. All I'm doing is looking at the graph, folks. Nothing spectacular. What does that tell me? Well, I'm going to wait. If I own it, leave it alone because I like the stock's price rising up. If I own it, leave it alone. RT is still above 1. How do I know when to get out of it? Well, if the stock breaks below that uptrend, which is looking at higher lows, I would think about getting out of it. All right. And if I own it, what am I looking for? To see if we can break above that level of resistance. So today is not a day I'm going to look at a ton of stocks and just not. Because I've gone a long time already, and Joey gets mad at me when I go past an hour. He gets over himself. What happened to Thor? You know something? What else you can do with the VectorVest software? If I'm looking at a stock and I see that Thor goes down like this, right from a graph, I can pull up news. Let's go see what happened. I don't know. It's down 5.5%. 7 top stocks. Let's go to press release. Let's go see if there's any news on it. 7 hours ago, Thor Industry announces a new chief innovation officer. I don't know if that affected to the downside or not until I read the story. But that's the only answer that I don't know what happened with Thor. And just because I look at a graph doesn't always mean. But you know something? As Thor was rising, what didn't confirm that the stock's price was rising? RT. What did the stock's price do? This is the value add behind the software. This is the value add behind the software. I always like to say that VectorVest is going to keep you from being blindsided. Well, wait a minute. I had an opportunity to make money. All right, fine. Make your money. Stock's price is going up. Pray the price action. What didn't confirm? RT. You know what I would have done? I would have put a tighter stop on that, especially knowing that the stock wasn't telling me it was in an uptrend. There you go. All right, so higher lows. Higher lows.
I think he understands what they are.
So when I went back to the stock, higher lows. So that's a low. That's a low. I'm hitting higher lows. The lows, the pullbacks are moving higher. That's what I mean by higher lows. Higher lows. I signed up for the trial, but I never used the app because I thought it was only looking at stocks. Can someone check to see the L1 trail? DJ, are you really a DJ? Because I'm a DJ too. I don't know if you're really a DJ side, because I'm a DJ too. You need to look me up on social media. DJ G Sharp 704. I don't know why I put that out there, but check me out. I'm a DJ as well. I want to use the software. So when you say you want to use the software, let me show you something else. I'm going to do this real quick. Once you take out the trial and you want to get and load the software onto your computer, right? Go to www.vectorvest.com/install. Ta-da! Son of a gun. Did I not type it right? I didn't. Hold on. Install. Ta-da! Let's do what the flying flip. www.vectorvest.com. VectorVest.com/install. Really? VectorVest, what is it? / what the fly? What is it? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what you're looking for.
VectorVest.com/download. Is it download? Download. Wow! There's a doggone site for us to install the software once you get it. Give our product support staff a call because evidently I'm messing it up. Put in the number, Joey. Sorry. All right, with that, folks, I got to go. RT.
Is this one? Yeah.
What is
I think
it?
that's what you want to download.
It is download, but for some reason it didn't work. Oh, I got 2 C's up in VectorVest. There it is. There's the download. So it's www.vectorvest.com/download. That's how you download it to your software. That's how you download it to your pro. That's cool. That's how you download it directly to your computer. All right. So I gotta go. I can thank you guys for being here. Don't forget, how many likes did we get?
125.
I didn't get to 150. That's all right. Maybe I wasn't convincing enough. Wah, wah, wah.
What's the symbol again for the IPO tracker you mentioned?
What was the symbol for the IPO tracker? It was called IPO. That's Joey. Stop laughing. It was called IPO, and that tracks all of your IPOs into one. Somebody said I don't have access. I do have access. It tracks all of the IPOs in one ticker symbol, which is kind of cool. I want to look your DJ Power profile. Go find DJ G Sharp. DJ G Sharp 704. DJ G Sharp 704. There you go. All right, I gotta go. Who gets the mug? Oh, did Sandy Bach? Sandy Bach got the mug. It was Sandy Bach that got the mug. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I thank you very much for it. I want to know something else. Joey, type a link in the room for stock analysis. For those of you who want to learn more about stocks that you typed in the room that I didn't get to look at today, click the link that Joey's going to put in there. All right. That link will get you access to a free stock analysis on any stock you want. That link right there that Joey just put in, it gives you stock analysis, shows you the value, the relative value, relative safety, relative timing on any stock that you want. All right, on any stock that you want. So with that, thank you for being here today. I want you guys to really start to move into the mode of coming to these Trending Thursdays to understand the value of what you're getting with the VectorVest software. That 99 cents just ain't 99 cents. You get a lot for it. And folks, for $1 for 30 days, it's a steal. It is a steal for everything that I show you in here, what you get. All right. So use that link. Take the trial. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button. Where are we at as far as likes? Almost 150. It's all right. I ain't going to twist your arms for it. But this is what helps us to grow this community. And my VV Nation, thank you guys for stepping up today, big time, helping out the new people in the room. That question that I asked, if they're making money that wasn't me twisting no arms. I wanted you to see that response live for yourself. I really did. There's a value behind that 99 cent. I need to see more people take that 99 cent trial. With that, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha, salam, shalom, namaste, peace. We're out of here. Hello, everyone. This is Glenn Tompkins here at VectorVest, and I wanted to let you know that the #1 online financial freedom summit is back. That's right, baby. It's back again. It was such a hit the last time we did it that guess what? We're bringing it back again. Now, you know the purpose is to change your family legacy. You want to be able to provide for your family from the stock market. You want to have generational wealth to pass on to your children. Well, that's what this summit is all about. We want you to take control of your future. So many people use other people to manage their money, and sometimes they make money, sometimes they don't. Why don't you take control of your future, manage your own money, and we'll show you how. We're going to teach you how to put your money to work and grow your money. I know you've heard the statement, you want to work smart, not hard. We're going to teach you how to grow your money and work smart. But it all starts with some semblance of financial literacy. You got to understand what's going on in the market and how to best take advantage of it. So to accommodate that, we've got presenters from all over the world to present from you. We've got people here in our VectorVest staff. We've got people in the EU. We have people in the UK. We have people in Australia here to provide information for you. And guess what? We've got a guest special speaker. We're not going to tell you about it yet, but you're going to be highly impressed when we tell you who he is. With all of these people who will be presenting for you, you're going to be receiving decades of real world experience. It's one thing to just have somebody on the screen talk to you, but these are people that are not only giving you what you need to know, they've done it. And with them doing it, you can do it too. So we want you to join us for our next Financial Freedom Summit. Just listen to the name. If you're looking to be financially free, we're going to put all of the tools in your hands to manage your own money, to have generational wealth, and to live a life of financial freedom. So we hope to see you all there.